Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be the round 3 preview, and we've got some big decisions to make. I mean, it's been an absolute shocker. It's been an absolute shocking start to the season. It's been like, this is as bad as I've easily as bad as I've ever started. That's not even like underselling it. Like I'm like 82,000 after 2 weeks. That's crazy. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people that, are fairly good at Supercoach in quotation marks, or at least like they've been doing it a while. I do think a lot of them are sitting around like anywhere from 80 to 20,000. It's just taken a couple of different captaincies, a different, a gun, fullback. That's pretty much been the main difference, like really, if we're being honest, like having different fullbacks has been the main thing, and getting a better captain than myself. that's been the main kicker. So I'm not throwing in the towel yet. I think there's still some big bounce backs that we can have. And honestly, for people that are in the similar position to me, all we need is like one captaincy to go big. We just need one of our like vice captain or captains to go really big, and then bang, you are right back in it, baby. So we need to start seeing some big scores. But let's go into this round. This is the big round on Supercoach. This is the big one. It sets up the season, really. I mean, there's a lot to go, water under the bridge and whatnot, but it's a big one before price changes for the majority of players, and a chance to fix some mistakes in the team. So we'll go through position by position in my team and sort of the plan at the moment, because I gotta be honest, after the team list, there's been a couple of players that I was pretty keen on that I've sort of lost a little bit of confidence in, but we'll get to them. The dummy halves has actually been one that has gained confidence, and that is obviously Joey Lussick. So I mean, without doubt, like I'm very happy with Robson, obviously. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I when I saw Lussick was playing, I mean, even before he got named as a sole dummy half, just the minutes, I was like, there was a part of me that was like, do I trade Robson to Lussick to just free up another couple hundred K, and Lussick could be that plotter you just play at dummy half? Because again, I don't really want to spend big money at dummy half. I was pretty keen to go cheap in the dummy half spot. We just, unfortunately, we didn't have confidence in Lussick or Hands to start the season. But the problem with it is fucking Denny Levi is stinking it up. I mean, he is average 42, but he scored 2 tries in the first 2 weeks, and he's only got 40s. Like, he's just, unfortunately, like, if he was just getting like 30 to 35 in base, like, honestly, I would be all over bringing in Lussick for Reece Robson and just having Levi as a bit of a plotter, bit of a slow burn to make a bit of cash, and then potentially nuffing him out or just holding him in a pinch. But the problem with Levi is that if he's going to make a bit of cash in the first couple of weeks, but he could lose that money so quickly if he doesn't get the attacking stats. So I think the smart decision is to get Levi to Lussick, but I don't think you need to make that trade straight away. And I talked about this in the team list video, that if I'm probably going to use a boost this week. So if I'm using a boost, am I really boosting to get Levi to Lussick? It's just such a waste. Like, yeah, we might miss out on, like, I don't know, the difference in their price rises might equal like 40 to 50k, give or take, depending how Levi scores this week and depending how Lussick scores. Like, they're both going to make cash, but Lussick is the better, like, money-making player long term. But it's not the biggest. I think trading Levi next week to Lussick is probably just the better decision. If we look, when does Levi actually have like a bye even? I don't even know. I mean, it's not like a big deal. 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, he doesn't have a bye till around 10, so he's actually pretty good. What has Reece Robson got? I mean, they're taking on the Dragons, Bronx, Titans. I mean, the Cows have a pretty good draw. Wait, when is their bye? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Their first bye is around 16. So, I mean, Reece Robson's just a really good play. I mean, he could make Origin, I guess. That's the thing. Because if we look, what is Lussick? What has Lussick even scored? He got 80. He got 82 points. Yeah, he's gonna... I thought he only got like 60, 70. He got like 60 in the first week, 82 now. My boy Reece Robson, number 3 dummy half. Fucking Saliva Havili, number 4 in the dummy half spot. He's beating Harry Grant. Oh, baby. It's just... This is why I'm like, I'm like so tempted. I'm so tempted to trade Robson to Lussick because the dummy halves are just so trash. Like, I know Robson's been going well, but he's getting like 60s. Like, I mean, Lussick can probably... His worst case is probably like 40, maybe. If he's playing 80 minutes, I get 40, probably. Because, yeah, 61, 82... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... So he's got a bye in round 9. It's a pretty good draw for the Eels. I mean, they cover the major bye as well. Obviously, he's no threat of a bye. So, I'm honestly torn. The more I look at it, the problem is Levi is he's just gonna stink it up. But I don't know, like, do you just pray that Levi can up his base? Like, he's getting the minutes. That's the thing with Levi. That's like, it's blowing me away a little bit because his minutes are damn good. He played 56 and 59 minutes. Jesus Christ. Surely in 60 minutes he can surely 60 minutes he can get like 30 points and like tackles, bro. What is he doing? Where the fuck does he stand on the field? Oh, I don't know. I know the smart decision is to trade Levi, and if I do that, I think I just wait till next week. I'd lose out on a little bit of cash, but I still think it's the right decision. And I think you just hold Robson. I don't know. Front row forward, so Terrell May obviously staying. Liam Henry, I think, could be a really solid second 2RF, and I'm not... Again, I talked about this. I'm not that concerned with running a cheap front row forward. Sam Hughes, I mean, unfortunately, he's not really going to kick on. Farmer Silly, I mean, knocked out. What can you do? I'm actually sort of happy he's out. And honestly, best case scenario, if Liam Knight actually plays well, then potentially Liam Knight holds the spot and Farmer Silly doesn't get back into the team. So it could be a blessing in disguise. So then I still got enough there that I could trade out or just hold him as enough. Like, I don't... my front row is like a free loop basically every week. Unfortunately, this week it's not because fucking Liam Henry plays the first game of the round. So it stuffs me a little bit this week, for sure. But, it is what it is. Actually, I guess that's actually interesting. I'll talk about that actually at the end of the video. I'll discuss that. But front row forward, I don't know. Let's just have a quick squiz. Like, who is going well? I mean, the main culprits, Fanil Blake, he had a killer. He got 50 last week. I still think Fanil Blake's good. Payne Haas. But again, they're not going that great. Terrell May's fucking number 3. He's averaging 60-odd points. Thomas Flegler, he got 51. And, that's the thing with Flegler. I think, he obviously scored the try in the first game where he bumped his score up. But, I think Flegler is a really good option, but at the same time, he's not going to make cash. Like he's priced at 475. Like if he was 400k, sure, but I don't see him scoring more than like 50, 55, which he's going to make a bit of cash, yes, but it's not great. I mean, Joshy Kerr, he followed up his good score last week with a 48. Pretty good. I mean, he's looked pretty good when he's come off the bench. I mean, again, I just don't want to trade. I don't really want to trade up to another sort of cheaper guy that could make a bit of cash, but then could lose the cash. I think this is where people can just waste trades, right? I mean, Reuben Cotter, yes, he would be a good option, I think, just with that Cowboys forward pack. Anyone else? I mean, Paseka, he scored 64. Did he get a try in this one? He was pretty poor in the first game. Lindsay Smith is starting. I mean, unfortunately he's a little bit too expensive from last year. Otherwise, Lindsay Smith could have been a very sneaky play. Leo Thompson with a 59. He got big minutes. What was his minutes? Did he sort of take over the minutes from Saifidi this week? Because what did he play? Yeah, he played 43 and then 60 minutes this week. I'm actually curious to see what Saifidi... Because I was somewhat keen to go Saifidi. Oh my god. Okay, so Tarpany is on the radar. He scored 39. Holy shit. I'm very glad I did not spend up on Tarpany, because I would be ripping my hair out. 56k, and he scored 59 and a 39. He played 51 minutes. I mean, if he has a couple of other low scores, he could be a very juicy pickup. If you lose some cash, who else? I mean, there's no one really else. Yeah, I mean, Max King, yuck. So yeah, there's... Wait, is it... What Saifidi is it? Is it Jacob the guy, or was it Daniel? No, it was Jacob. So, I mean, he backed it up. He got, 51 minutes, 50 points, 43, 45. So, yeah, it looked like him and Leo Thompson sort of split or switched minutes. It's still pretty good, but again, he's 400k. I got Liam Henry who can get 35 points. I don't. What's the point of spending 200k to get a fucking Saifidi? So, yeah, even like so. This is gonna talk about my point here. So David Miley, a very good option to bring in this week, right? Trading Farmasili to him seems like a no-brainer. He scored 63. He's now starting. I mean, he did score a try last week, but he's looked pretty good, and he now is starting in the team. But this is my point. Like, is it really worth a trade going to from Farmasili to Moale? Now, Moale could make a bit of cash and be a decent play at times, but you're not really going to want to play Moale any given week unless you have to. And then what? Eventually, by the end of the year, maybe you're hoping he's not going to become a keeper. So you're either going to nuff him out, which... yeah, you could do, but that's another trade. Or you're going to upgrade him to a keeper, which again is another trade. So the money potentially could be nice, but I just think it's just another wasted trade to make in the front row. And I've already wasted 2 trades as is. So I think front row forward, there's going to be some guys that make a bit of cash here and there, but I just don't think I just don't really care. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold this for now, and then if we got the extra cash and a trade to play with, then yeah, I'll upgrade one of these cheap guys to a keeper, and just have 2 keepers and like 2 cheap nuff type backups that I don't care about. But we'll see. I mean, things change, but that's sort of my plan. Back row. So obviously we do need to get rid of Hilam Lukey. That's a given. I mean, we do have plenty of back rowers. Obviously, Bo Fermor is back this week, which is good. Also, the fact that Fafita is now not playing, and Foreign's back, so Fermor will get to play outside of Foreign, and it's a pretty good matchup because they take on... who are they playing? The Doggies. So it's a pretty good matchup, I would think. So Helam Lukey, there is definitely some options. Now, first off, I was very, very keen on, well, we'll talk about him. So Zach Hosking. Zach Hosking. Everybody was very keen on Hosking, which I get. He's gone like fucking 100, and he's an absolute gun. Like, he's so good. But Elliot Whitehead was always going to come back into that team, and like, I couldn't see a world where Whitehead was going to get pushed back to the bench. Like, he's the captain. I mean, I agree. I think Hosking is a better player than Whitehead as it stands. Like, I think Hosking is too good not to be starting, but it would have been pretty rough on Whitehead, who had the spot. Like, it was his spot. He was just injured for the first couple of games. So, it was always going to happen. So, if you've got Hosking, like, I know some people might still think take Hosking and get his price rise even if he's off the bench, but I'm just like, that's just such a wasted trade. Like, just don't do it. The money is not that important. You can make plenty of money other ways. Like, I've seen a couple of people saying, like, I'll still select Hosking and take his price rise, but I just think it's such a wasted trade. But you know, people play the game differently and are probably doing better than me. So, you know, go with your heart. Go with your heart. Don't listen to me to a T or anything. But that's my opinion. Obviously, the expensive guys. I mean, Teague Wilton had a game. Ola Kawatu, only the 54. He could have scored that try. Honestly, he had that try, bro. A little bit of side story, but I had Ola Kawatu as an anytime try scorer in a bet, right? He scored the try, as I thought. I went up to go to the toilet. I was cock-a-hoot. I came back, and then I was watching the game. I thought they must have taken the kick, and I was watching. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? It seems so strange. And then I realized, wait, it wasn't a try? Like, I was dead certain. I didn't see like a close-up replay. I don't know. But I was filthy. But yeah, Ola Kawatu's looking really good, but I could bring him in, but I think no. There's too many value picks in the second row to go with the expensive guy. I mean, Adam Elliott with 2 tries. Jeremiah Nanai is looking really good, but yeah, he's 600k. Eli Katoa looking really good, but I still think Katoa, I mean, the Storm have a bye next week, but I think Katoa, after a couple of these mid-ranges peak, then Katoa is like straight in. Josh Curran, I was so keen on Curran, but I talked about in the team list that now Liam Knight is starting. I actually do think this potentially affects Curran's minutes. I mean, we still have not really seen what Curran's rotation and proper minutes are like without injury affecting the Dogs team or forward pack. So I'm just a little hesitant. And the fact now, like, also we were thinking that he'd probably get the front row duels, but it seems like from what Tom Sangster was saying, he probably won't get the duel just because he's coming off the bench, and there's other there's Ryan Madison and other guys like that it just, yeah, if they gave it to Curran, then they'd have to probably they'd be like, oh, we got to give it to these other guys. So I don't know. The way they were talking, it seemed like Curran's not going to get dual front row forward, which honestly, I still think Curran's a good pickup, but if he's not going to get dual front row forward, then it just limits his versatility, because I was like, get him in front row and then have my front row of him and Terrell May, and that's set. But if it's not going to happen, then I think there's probably better options still in the back row. I mean, if he gets the minutes, he's an absolute gun, but I'm scared about that Liam Knight starting now. So he's going to make cash, but I would like to see how he goes this week with the rotation still. I'm sort of fading Curran a little bit now. Who else have we got? I mean, you got Cotto. I guess you can get in back row, but no. Where is Asia Wong has been dropped, obviously. Jack Williams is starting in the back row. I mean, he's not gonna keep the spot for long, but I mean, if he did, he'd be a good pickup. Kai Pearce-Paul. So okay, he actually got 43. He must have updated a lot because he was on I thought he was on 30 points at the end of the game, but so he got 43. I don't know. It's another one that I'm I don't it's not a bad pickup, but just the fact Dylan Lucas being on the extended bench, I would not be shocked when Lucas is fully fit that he comes straight back into the starting side. Pearce-Paul goes back to the bench. And again, I don't think it's a trap because I still think Pearce-Paul could play decent minutes off the bench, but I don't know. I'm definitely not sold on it at the moment. And again, he's only got 43, so he's not going to skyrocket in price this week if you don't take the punt. Joe Chan is another guy. All these fucking dudes are there's so many uncertainties still, even in round 3, because Chan is the guy that Chan is an interesting one because I know I keep saying it, but I can going Heilum Luki Chan it would free up so much cash. It would be beautiful, but I can potentially wait on Chan because he will make cash this week, but he's not unless he has a big game, he's not going to go crazy. And then the Storm have a bye, which gives it another week for Solomona and everyone else to come back. And then the week after, we can decide. If Chan has still got the position, then we go him. But I don't know. The more I look at it, I'm fuck, you can make... he's going to make good cash. And it does seem like he's won that spot. Blore and Howarth is still on the extended bench. So it doesn't... I mean, I'd be a little shocked if he dropped Chan. I mean, the Storm have won both their games. He's looked good. Set up a beautiful try last week. He's starting to get a little bit more involved. So I think Chan is probably the play, getting rid of Heilum Luki. Because again, that's the thing. I've got so many playable second row forwards. I don't need another guy that I want to play. I've got too many. I've got too many guys that I sort of want to play every week. And then the only other guy, I guess, is Fini Fuiaki. So Fini Fuiaki, he has got the start. I also think he's an absolute gun. I mean, we could. You know what? At the moment, I do think you go Chan. I just think you do, right? There's no real reason not to. If he gets dropped all of a sudden, I mean, fuck, okay, fine. But, everybody's sort of in the same boat then at that point. Because how many people do have Chan? Surely it's a lot. Yeah, 35%. So, a lot of people are going to be in the same boat. It gives me so... I've got 475k now. And then Tupanua, I am very tempted to just trade Tupanua to Fini Fuiaki this week, but I just think Tupanua, I just still get the feeling that Tupanua can have a few big games. He looked pretty good last week. He just didn't, he was running so many decoys, but I think Fini Fuiaki, I think he's a perfect guy. Again, Fini Fuiaki doesn't have a massively low break even by any means, so I think Fuiaki, you can wait a week. Again, he'll make a bit of cash, but hopefully Tupanua will as well. But if Tupanua still only plays 60 minutes with Crichton on the bench this week, then Tupanua to Fini Fuiaki next week, I think is a no-brainer. And I'll still make some cash from it. So I think at the moment, that's what I'm thinking. Tupanua next week he's on thin ice. And if Fuiaki looks good, and Tupanua still only plays 60, 65 minutes, then I think it's just an easy downgrade option. I mean, we got so much cash to play with now. It's looking good. The halfbacks are fine. I'm not trading. I can't. I just looked at it and I'm like, man, I could go Galvin up to Luke Brooks, but no, you're not going to get rid of Galvin. He scored 49 points. He's a bottom dollar cheapie. You're not gonna get rid of Galvin, you damn fool. But this is where I'm so torn. I've got to be honest. I'm starting to backtrack on selling Ponga. I am starting to, because I know the comments were saying you got to get rid of Ponga, but like personally, I know it's not a apples to apples comparison because Ponga is 100k more than Dylan Brown, but the money not necessarily that important now because I've got 480k in the bank. But if I'm going to trade one of these guys out, I do think it's Brown because like I'm not that worried about Brown going like 150. Kalen Ponga obviously like hasn't looked great. He's been close. He's been close a couple of times to splitting them open, but the Knights obviously have been looking pretty shocking as well. But if I still look at it, I'm like, Ponga is definitely way more dangerous than Brown to go massive. And I think just having that potential for Ponga is more important than Brown. I could keep both. That's the thing. Because I don't need the cash at this point. Like, obviously, some more cash would be nice because then we can just, we can upgrade like crazy in the next few weeks. But the more I look at, like, I really want Luke Brooks. I think Luke Brooks, I just think he's a really good pickup. And I'm so torn. So, I mean, let's look at the rest of it before we go more into detail. So, Galvin is staying. Tommy Trbojevic is staying. Ethan Strange, Bostock staying. Tuvashek, Taylor May, Ben Trbojevic, Tuapiki. They're all staying until Tuapiki goes for Charnsey, which is fine. We should have like a good kitty to upgrade at that point. And then Gagai, well, he can obviously go, but it's not like that pressing. We'll probably wait until there's a good cheapie to sideways him to. So it's not like I'm not going to try to upgrade Gagai to like a keeper like in the next week. So it's not, at the moment, there's not like that many players that I'm like, fucking, I gotta trade. I guess looking at it, I could just fucking go Levi Telasic this week then. Like, do I just not use a boost? Oh, man. But I just think... Okay, let's look. So, Ponga... I mean, I know they got the Storm this week, which on paper doesn't look good. But, man, oh, man, the Storm are under strength. They don't have Munster, Hughes, Solomona... Who else? Is there anyone else? I mean, they're big out. I mean, Christian Welsh actually as well. They're missing some real firepower, right? They should still be decent in defense, but like Ponga's got, it's got Melbourne, understrength Melbourne, Warriors, Dragons, Roosters, Dogs, Dolphins, Warriors, Tigers, Titans, Bulldogs. But he could be playing Origin around that time. So I am... The other big factor here is that a lot of people are going to be trading Ponga out, right? Where does it say... Is that it there? Round 3 traded out. 8.8? Brother, 14th. I know people are going to be like, you got to trade Ponga out. But he could turn into like an actual pod. And he could just go bang. Like, yes, he's priced at 900k. And he's underperformed massively. But he is a guy that can go huge. And if so many people are trading him out, like, it could turn into like a decent pod. Like, really. He's still in 35% of teams. It could get lower than that. That's the other thing. I am somewhat keen to go to Pappenhausen, but then Pappenhausen, again, he doesn't have the goal kicking. He's not going to score 2 tries every week. I mean, he is looking really good, but he's got the bye in the next week, which will be a bit of a hit not having another gun fullback. I'm leaning towards holding Ponga and trading Brown, bro. I'm definitely leaning towards it because, I mean, Brown, I don't know. He scored he had 2 try assists with 2 line break assists, and he scored 65. I mean, it was against Penrith, so, like, you know, he didn't have, like, the tackle bust and offloading. I mean, they got Manly, Tigers, Raiders, Cowboys, Dolphins, Manly, bye. It's a pretty good run for Brown, but he's definitely going to lose cash, and Brooks is definitely going to make cash. But again, I guess this is the thing, right? Like, I talked about it with the front rowers. It's like, you don't want to keep wasting trades. Is it worth trading Brown to Brooks? And, like, I wouldn't be shocked if they basically become level in price after a few weeks, right? Because I think Brooks is potentially going to keep scoring pretty well. I think he's got good base, and in that Manly attacking team, like, he's got upside. Brown's obviously got really good base as well. It hasn't really been on show yet, but I think their scoring could become, or their price could become pretty level. And then after a certain point, is it worth trading back to Brown, or do we wait and try to upgrade Galvin to Brown? I don't know. That's the tricky thing. I mean, if Galvin comes out and scores a couple of big ones, and all of a sudden he makes some quick cash, then yeah, I mean, absolutely, I'd probably do that. I think that is worth it, but I just think Brooks is a guy you sort of have to bring in. And again, if I'm trading, I'm not going to trade Brown and Ponga. I'm not going to do both of them. And if I'm doing one, again, I just think having Ponga has more upside than having Brown at this point of the season. I just think that. And I'll still have Sean Lane. You know, if Brown is killing it, then Sean Lane is going to be killing it as well. So I'll have half of the combo, which is nice. Because if we look at Luke Brooks, and man, I would have so I mean, Brooks he's going well. Like, he scored 80. He scored, like, I know he scored 59 in round 1, but that was with a late try. So, I mean, if he scored, like, yeah, if he had, like, 40 points in round 1, the conversation might be a little different. But he also bombed a try. He had a try assist of Tommy denied. So he could have gone 100 easily in that game. And then this game as well, Luke Brooks, like, he should have had another try, but he stepped on the sideline. Like, he could have easily gone another 100, man. I just think you got to bring in Brooks. I think he's too good to pass up. I think this is one of those ones where you just have to. Like, I think the money downgrade is too not. Like, it's $200K to get a guy that I think he's gonna be similar average. Maybe not at the back end of the season, but I think at the start, like, if we look at Manly, like, that's what I was talking about, fucking Manly take on Eels. So it's going to be the Brooks v Dylan Brown show. That will be interesting. I probably would rather have Brown against Manly than Brooks against the Eels, if I'm being honest. But yeah, they got Eels, Dragons, Panthers is obviously tough. Then we have Warriors, Gold Coast, Eels again, Raiders, Dolphins, Bronx, Storm, bye. So probably, yeah, if you're going to do this, I think worst case scenario, for their bye in round 13, you probably look to trade back to Brown, which, that's 2 trades, but the money there is way more than, like, these front rowers, right? Like, I talked about the front rowers, but they're going to make maybe like 100K, 150. But this trade gives me 200K to go to Brooks. Brooks will then, I mean, I don't know. He might, again, this is all talking in the future. Brooks might come out and have a couple of shockers and not make as much cash as we think he will. But fuck, whatever. Like, that's Supercoach. You got to take the punt sometimes. You got to follow what you think. It's not, you can't predict everything. So, you know, you got to make the decision. But then if Brooks does make cash, Dylan Brown will lose cash. There's no doubt that Brown will lose cash. So then the money I mean, look at that. I gotta be honest. I think it looks good. And then we have brother, we got $700K. We have $700,000 in the I don't think I've ever had this much money in the salary cap this early in the season. Like, that seems insane. Oh man. I mean, with that amount of cash, like, you might be thinking, oh, you might as well trade. But I'm not going to use I'm not going to waste the boost to go Levi to Lussick, especially because we got this much cash. We got $700K, so it does not matter if the price difference is going to be decent enough that Levi to Lussick is a little bit more expensive than it originally was going to be. It doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. Because we got so much money there. Then, I mean, looking forward, the halves are set. I mean, like, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on doing this. I mean, honestly, this is my initial thought, and I don't want to, it's one of those ones in Supercoach where you can toss and turn and be like, oh, maybe I'll trade Ponga, I'll bring Brown back, but, like, it's just a flip of the coin. Like, it's a literal flip of the coin. Brown could come out, go 80, 80, 80. Ponga could stink it up, or it could be the opposite. Ponga could come out and go in the next couple of games 150, and Brown could keep going like 50, 60. So you don't know what's going to happen. You just have to try and make the right decision, or just go with your guts. So that's what I'm thinking. And then we got money to up, like, Tua Picky. When he's gone, he can go to a genuine gun. If Bostock makes some money, he can go up. Like, we can do some great things. And I guess with this amount of money, like, we definitely could trade, like, Farmer Silly up to an actual decent front row forward option. But I gotta be, at the moment, this is what I'm leaning towards. I don't really want to second guess it, because I just like the look of it. I like that we have $700K in the bank, and I still think like, having that much money in the bank and still having, I think we still have a pretty damn good team on paper. Like, I don't know. I think it's pretty good. I mean, let's have a quick look at sit start. So obviously Joe Chan will go out for, I mean, let's just put in Sean Lane. Our reserves will be obviously Trebojevic, Cleary. I mean, you got to go Fermor and Smithies. Yeah. So, I mean, look at that. Our depth, even with that much cash, we still got good depth. We're not playing Strange. We're not playing Bostock, Galvin Chan. We're not playing bloody Sam Hughes or Danny Levi. But I think it's pretty good. I mean, our front row is scuffed, but I don't know. I'm not that bothered by it, honestly. I think we could, maybe this week it's not going to be necessarily a massive week for us, but I think we got some big moves to make. Like, we can make some big moves in the next few weeks and really try to get back into the fight here. So I don't know. And again, we're not using our boost, which I don't hate. I mean, I guess I could use a boost, but like the only position I'd want to waste a boost on would be the back row, the center wing, if I wanted to bring in a gun. But like, I don't really want to trade out any of the center wingers. Like, Tuvashek and Taylor May, definitely not. Ben Trebojevic is a starting back rower that you play in your center wing. You're not trading him out. Tua Picky is averaging 50. Like, you're not going to trade him out before Clockstad's back. Bostock and Strange are going to make good cash. I mean, yes, Gagai potentially, but I don't know. Do I really want to? I guess we could bring in anybody. Do you do that? You might, because if we traded Gagai to a gun, obviously it's going to use a lot of our cash, but Obviously, Strange and Bostock are probably going to get traded down eventually. And if there's a cheapie come up, then you probably want to make money from it. So you go from Bostock to a cheapie or to a picky or whoever makes some good cash in the next couple of weeks. If, Tommy Talau plays a couple more games when he comes back from injury or something, or someone else sort of pops up, you never know. So we could... I don't know. Like, I think this is one of those times, like, I don't have to use the boost. I don't think I'm going to, but what happened? Is it going to boost? What's happening? Come on, bro. The Supercoach is even telling me not to boost, apparently. Hello? Is it going to activate? Fucking... Oh my god. Okay. It's been very annoying. Let's just... You know what? We'll just go to fucking plays. Because I know for a fact we can afford every centre wing. Because he's 200k and we got 700k in the bank. So there's definitely no centre wing that is over 900k. Let's have a look. Ronnie, I know a lot of people are going Ronnie. Well, he's only 2.3% owned. I'd probably rather Talakai. He's been really, really solid, and he's only 560. Don't hate that. Isaac Tungo with a 145. Tungo... It's just like, it's a bit like chasing last week's points. Tungo is a guy that he does have a really good base. Like, he scored 46 against the Storm and they scored no points. Like, he is a target. He's similar to Taylor May, but he's like 200k more expensive. So it's like, do you really want both centers? It's not the worst, but he's just... The problem is he's just a little bit expensive, and then the fact he got 145, he's going to get more expensive, which is insane. Fido has been killing it, but he's on a buy. Val Holmes, no. If you didn't start Val Holmes, I wouldn't be getting him in because Origin, like, obviously Origin's a fair way away, but like, you're not gonna... I don't know. I think if you don't start with a guy like that, you don't bring him in. Ruben Garrick, in the centers, like, I still don't mind him in the centers. Zach Lomax, Selwyn Cobbo is looking pretty good. I don't know. I think a lot of these guys, like, I still think you can wait. Like, I think it's just, like, any one of them can go massive again. Like, yeah, you could go on Holmes or Garrick or Lomax last week, and then, yeah, they only get 50s this week. So I don't think it's worth it this early in the season to go with it. So I think, I don't know, I'm shocked to say. I'm actually shocked to say, but I think I was dead set on, can we go? Jesus Christ, the Supercoach app is very frustrating at times, but I was dead set on going with a boost. I guess I could use a boost on Farmasili to a better front rower, but again, I just don't think it's worth it. So yeah, I think I'm not going to use the boost, which I like. I like not using a boost. It does feel a little wrong not to do it, but again, I know people are going to say trade out Tupanua, but I think you got to give Tupanua another week. You get another good look at Fuiaki, his minutes. You get another good look at Kai Pierce-Paul. If Pierce-Paul doesn't drop out, there is a temptation to go to him with the boost because he is going to start making cash. But like, Fini Fuiaki is also there that we can go to next week. So I think you wait a week on Tupanua, because I still think Tupanua could be a good pickup. He's still under 400k. Like, I don't think there's really a rush to get rid of him. And then I think I'm pretty happy. Let's have a quick, before I forget, let's look at captaincies, because this is where I just need a captaincy, bro. I need a fucking captaincy to work for me. Please, for love of God. So Penrith v Bronx. Yeah, I wouldn't go the vice captaincy on Cleary in that one. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to see Penrith play really well against the Bronx and win and score a few points, but yeah, I don't know. I think there'll be better options. You've got Warriors, Raiders. There's no one really there. Roosters, Rabbits. I mean, Latrell against the Roosters. It's I would be scared shitless if I had the captaincy on Mitchell against the Roosters, because it always has the potential to fire up and a couple of sin bins. So I'd be a little dubious, a little careful. Bulldogs, Gold Coast, there's no one really there to talk about. Dragons, Cowboys, obviously if you got Drinkwater, he'd be a very, very juicy vice captain. Or Val Holmes would be juicy as well. I guess, yeah, fuck. Yeah, I still don't think you go Labert, but you could go Labert this week because they take on the goddamn Dragons, man. Like, I still think Labert's a pretty good pickup. Yeah, I could use a boost, like, and go Gagai to Labert, right? Because if you go Gagai to Labert, yeah, that uses like 270k of it, but I still got so much cash left over, and that does bolster my centre wing pretty well. And then Labert against weaker opposition could be fucking dynamite, but I don't know. Maybe a wait and see on Labert still. Tigers, Sharks. I mean, if you're not you shouldn't be trading Hines or Cleary, but if you are, you'd be scared about this one. Hines, you got to chuck the vice captaincy on him, and then actually, yeah, I got to talk. That's right. I was talking about the loop as well. I'll talk about that before I finish. So I think vice captaincy definitely on Hines, and then it's a matter of, do I go do I go Ponga or Trbojevic? Oh god. Yeah, they're both I'd probably honestly, I think you go Trbojevic. Like, I know probably keeping Ponga, you should go with Ponga. Otherwise, why are you keeping him? But I don't know. I'm still nervous about Ponga. I'm still nervous against the Storm. But I think Tommy, like, he's just looking so involved. Like, he just looks so involved that he just needs a couple of those half breaks to work. And he's just offloading so much. Like, it's just gone. He's due to go pretty big, I think. So I like the captaincy probably on Trbojevic in this one. But what I was going to say is the loop, because it's a late game. Actually, when does... we can't even do that. Okay, I was thinking, mate, like, yeah, the Dragons, the Sharks are before the Dogs are before the Sharks is what I was thinking. With Liam Henry playing first up, I was like, maybe you play Sam Hughes. You play Sam Hughes instead of Henry. Like, obviously, you'd probably rather play Liam Henry, but you put Hughes as the start, and then because Liam Henry you can't nuff out with Farmer Silly with your vice captain, but you can't even do that with the Dogs. You got to go with Seagull, Eel, Knight, or Storm. Who have I even got? I don't really have anyone, do I? Damn. How would I even loop? I got Gagai. Actually, no, but they lock out, so you won't be able to do Gagai. I guess, I guess you go Ben Trbojevic, actually. You'd probably just go Ben Trbojevic. It's not the best, but yeah, because we don't have. I mean, we got Chan, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, I think Ben Trbojevic probably out of this. I mean, it's annoying because I would love to. I would love to do it with my front row. Like, this is sort of the beauty of the front row being like this, is that I get sort of a free loop, but the fact that they play so late, I don't actually get to do that this week, which is pretty annoying. But because I'm trying to think, if I traded Farmer Silly, I don't think there's anyone even in these games that I'd want to go to. Yeah. Not like any cheapie. So I think if you take the do you put the captaincy on Hines then and go early vice captain? Who's an early vice captain I could go with though? I mean, maybe a Taylor May as a bit of a pot shot. You could go. Oh, you could go to a Vaschak against the Raiders, to a Picky. I mean, I still like the Hines, but it is a bit more annoying because you got to drop Ben Trbojevic. Okay, I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about that one because it's not the ideal scenario, that is for sure. Because our AE could be pretty shocking. I mean, it's probably either going to be Sam Hughes or Denny Levi. And Ben Trbojevic, if he doesn't get any attacking stats, he's definitely not like a base stat monster. And I don't know. I still think the Eels could be okay against the back rowers. I think Tommy could go well against them, but yeah, I don't know. But that should wrap it up. I still got a little bit to think about, but at the moment I'm pretty locked in. Things can change quickly, but at the moment I'm pretty locked into this. I like it. I like the look of it. We got a lot of money. We do have a lot of money. I like the look of it. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.